My own modest view on these four complex dynamics in the cyclical and turbulent Pak-US relationship indicates that there are four divergent dynamics. The political domain, the strategic domain, the economic domain, and the diplomatic domain. I see a very warm, cordial, respectful relationship improving at the diplomatic level, characterized by Mr. Fatmi's visit to Washington and him meeting important U.S. officials and congressmen, and the U.S. Diplomats actively engaging with Pakistani government officials and exploring different avenues of cooperation, particularly in counterterrorism, joint investments, and exploring areas of cooperation in the economic, mining, IT, education, and trade sectors. And that is a very positive sign, because U.S. is Pakistan's biggest trading partner, because U.S. is Pakistan's biggest export market, and Pakistan's economy heavily depends upon the sustainability and growth of this export market. The second dynamic, which is also positive, is the improving realization, which is shared in Washington and Islamabad and Rawalpindi, that terrorism is a global challenge, which was underscored by the recently released U.S. official annual intelligence assessment of the threats that the U.S. faces. And you've noticed that the first threat that the 32-page document indicates and highlights is the rise of terrorist organizations. And you know very well, on page 7, it clearly mentioned Pakistan's name as a victim of TTP's attack, which the U.S. also recognizes as a terrorist organization, which has in the past maintained close ties with Al-Qaeda and supported plans and actions of attacking terrorist movement attacks inside the U.S. So that is an area which immediately has been recognized as an area of mutual cooperation, and we'll see a formal dialogue on counterterrorism between U.S. and Pakistan in June this year. The third domain is the strategic domain, which has remained a sore point in Pak-US relations for almost, 45 years. From the famous Henry Kissinger visit to warn Prime Minister Bhutto, in which he warned him that you will be made a horrible example if you don't, roll back the nuclear program. But from that day till today, whether we have had a civilian government, a democratic government, a military ruler, I think everybody has consistently and not only protected Pakistan's nuclear and missile program, but advanced it consistently beyond our political differences. And one thing which is very important to clarify to our viewers is that these sanctions are not Pakistan specific. Other countries have also been sanctioned. That includes China, that includes UAE, that includes Taiwan, which have very close security relations with the US. Now, this indicates that this is not something directly aimed against Pakistan, but is primarily aimed at discouraging the international community from close collaboration with China, which the US has recently formally identified as the biggest global challenger to the US as per their recently released formal intelligence threat assessment. And it should be seen in that context. And the last point, which is very important to highlight, is that since Pakistan's missile program and nuclear program are a fruit of Pakistan's own efforts and resources, and these sanctions will not affect Pakistan's missile or nuclear program or the credibility of deterrence. And it is also important to remind our friends in the US that US has consistently expressed the hope that strategic stability is maintained as a guarantee for durable peace and security in South Asia. And Pakistan hopes and expects from the Trump administration that this commitment will continue, because this also promotes US interest of maintaining peace and security in South Asia, and preventing any conflict, crisis, or aggression against Pakistan. And for that, Pakistan's minimum credible deterrence is a cost-effective guarantee for peace, which poses no threat to any other country, particularly the US. So that thing, I think our diplomatic leadership must also take up with their counterparts in the US to clarify these misperceptions with the Indian lobbies trying to create that Pakistan has no ill motives or even interests in targeting or threatening any country beyond prevention of aggression from India.